Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here again, ready to plunge into another stack of your sources and pull out those key insights.
Looking forward to it.
So today, we're hit on something really universal. It's that, human fascination with chance.
Oh, yeah. Everyone feels that pull.
Right. That little hope you can spot a pattern, maybe outsmart the odds. We all try to beat the odds, especially in games.
Absolutely. It's almost instinctive.
And speaking of games, today's deep dive is all about Crazy Time. It's that huge live game show from Evolution.
Super popular, yeah.
If you've played, you know it's like Wheel of Fortune, but like turbocharged. Multipliers, bonus rounds, the works. And like a lot of players, you might be wondering, how can I use data? Can it help?
Can it give you that edge? That's the big question.
Exactly. So that's our mission today. Can the stats from past Crazy Time rounds actually genuinely predict what happens next, or is it more about informing your strategy?
Separating the fact from the hopeful thinking, maybe.
Pretty much. We're going to uncover some honestly surprising truths from the data itself.
And it's interesting, you see it right in the game, right? Players looking at the stats for the last 21, maybe 49 rounds.
Yeah, trying to guess what's coming.
It's totally natural. We want to find order, even when maybe there isn't any in the short term. Our brains just look for patterns.
Okay, so let's really unpack this whole prediction thing. Because you've got these two big ideas clashing, right? There's our human intuition, which often leads to the gambler's fallacy. And then there's the cold, hard math of the law of large numbers.
It really is gut versus math, a classic battle.
Let's start with the gambler's fallacy, because I think everyone gets this one on some level.
Oh, definitely. It's that feeling. Say a bonus game hasn't shown up for, 14 rounds.
You start thinking, it's due. It has to hit soon.
Exactly. That little voice insists it's definitely around the corner.
So why is that a fallacy?
Yep.
It feels so logical somehow.
Well, it feels logical, but statistically, it's about making false connections. We link things that are totally separate.
Okay.
Every single spin of that crazy time wheel, it's a completely independent event. What happened before has zero impact on the next spin.
Like flipping a coin, right?
Yeah.
5 heads in a row doesn't make tails more likely next time.
Precisely. Still 50-50. The coin doesn't remember. The wheel doesn't remember.
Got it.
And the source material makes this point too. A bonus might not appear for 20, even 30 rounds. That doesn't increase its odds for the next round. But then again, it could pop up 2-3 times pretty close together. That might seem like it's evening out, but you just never know when.
So if each spin is random, how do probabilities even work?
That's where the counterpoint comes in, the law of large numbers. This is like fundamental statistics stuff.
Okay, break that down for us.
Basically, the more times you do something, spin the wheel, flip the coin, whatever, the closer your actual results will get to the expected mathematical probability.
So more spins means closer to the true odds.
Exactly. For games like Crazy Time, Monopoly Live, Dreamcatcher, over a really long time, the results will line up with the statistical expectation for each segment. It's like the ultimate statistical balancer.
And the Crazy Time data actually shows this happening.
Absolutely. The source data confirms it. Sure, in 1 hour, things can look skewed. You might see loads of 2s or 10s or pachinko hits,
Not these short bursts.
But even looking at just one full day, the actual results start getting pretty close to the expected ones. And over a week or a month, they smooth out even more. It gets really consistent.
That's really compelling. So short-term is noisy, long-term is predictable, statistically speaking.
You got it. And the source had a great example. The number 10 segment hit twice with just one spin in between.
Whoa.
Yeah. If you were betting based only on the last few spins thinking 10 was cold, you'd have missed out. It shows how misleading those short-term patterns can be.
Okay, so we've got the theory. Don't trust your gut on short streaks. Trust the math over the long haul. Let's zoom back into Crazy Time itself. The nuts and bolts.
Sure. So, Crazy Time, the game. Big wheel, 54 segments total.
And those are split between numbers 1, 2, 5, 10, and the 4 bonus games.
Right. Coin flip, cash hunt, pachinko, and the big one, Crazy Time itself.
Plus, there's that extra feature. The top slot.
Yeah, the top slot. Before the main wheel spins, this little slot reel thing runs above it. It can randomly pick one segment and give it a multiplier up to 50x before the main wheel even stops.
Right, that sounds like it can make a huge difference.
Oh, it does, especially for hitting those massive wins. And the game overall, the RTP, return to player, is 96.08%.
Which is pretty decent.
Very competitive.
Right.
And the max possible payout, a wild 25,000 times your bet.
Wow. Okay, so connecting back to the law of large numbers, When we look at the long term, do the actual results match the odds?
They really do. The source shows that consistency is, well, striking.
So segment 1 should hit about 38.88% of the time.
And over days, weeks, months, it gets very close to that. Same for 2-fit at 24.07%, 5-fit at 12.96%, 10 at 7.40%.
And the bonuses. Cash Hunt and Pachinko are both expected around 3.70%.
Yep. Coin Clip at 7.4%, and Crazy Time itself, the rarest, at 1.85%. The longer you track it, the closer the real results match those numbers. It just works.
It really validates that law of large numbers.
It's the bedrock, really. Understanding that helps cut through the noise of like, oh, Crazy Time hasn't hit all day.
Okay, let's shift gears to what everyone secretly, or maybe not so secretly, dreams about.
Yeah.
Hitting that massive win, the max payout.
Ah, yes, the jackpot chase.
Our source data on the biggest Crazy Time wins ever is... it's kind of eye-opening. Get ready for this.
Lay it on us.
The top recorded payout, that huge 25,000x. And guess which bonus game it came from?
Given the name, maybe the Crazy Time bonus itself?
Nope, it was Cash Hunt.
Cash Hunt, really?
Yeah, and here's the really wild part. Cash Hunt is, and I'm quoting the source here, the undisputed leader for big wins, both in quantity and size.
Undisputed leader. How dominant are we talking?
Get this. Out of the 17 biggest wins the source tracked, 15 of them were from Cash Hunt.
15 out of 17. That's
Right.
Wow.
Right. Payouts of 25,000x, 12,500x, 10,000x, 7,500x. Mostly Cash Hunt.
Okay, that is surprising because in Cash Hunt, you have to pick the right spot, don't you?
Exactly. There are 108 little symbols hiding multipliers. You pick one. The chance of picking the one spot with the absolute max multiplier seems really low.
Yeah, like 1 in 108, basically. So how can it be the best bet for aiming for the maximum win? It feels like a paradox.
It totally does. But the key, remember that top slot feature?
Ah, right, the pre-multiplier.
That's the secret sauce. If Cash Hunt lands on the main wheel and the top slot assigns it a big multiplier beforehand, say 25x.
Then all the multipliers within the Cash Hunt game get boosted by 25x.
Precisely. So even a decent multiplier inside Cash Hunt can become astronomical because of that initial top slot boost. That's why it dominates the max win charts.
Okay, that makes sense now. It's not just the bonus game itself, but the combination with the top slot. That really changes the potential, like a hidden data insight.
It really is.
Yeah.
So knowing that, let's dig a bit deeper into the different bonus types, specifically the ones where you make a choice versus the ones where you just watch it play out.
Good distinction. Let's start with player choice.
Okay, back to Cash Hunt. You pick from 108 spots, each as a multiplier. What else did the data show?
Well, looking at 3 days of data, yeah, it can give you massive multipliers, maybe 3,000x or more on a single spot sometimes.
But that's rare.
Very rare. Most payouts day to day tend to be under 50x. And again, it's heavily swayed by whatever multiplier the top slot hit with.
So the average experience is much lower than those jackpot highs. What about the average payout over time?
It stabilizes. Over the 3 days analyzed, the average win across all spots settled around 30x.
And did it matter which symbol you picked? Like, is a duck luckier than the cactus?
Well, the source actually broke down the average for each symbol, gift, duck, cake, all of them.
Yeah, man.
They were all incredibly close to that 30x average, like 29.74x for the gift, 29.44x for the duck, tiny variations.
So basically, don't sweat which symbol you pick. It doesn't really give you an edge statistically.
Not according to this data, no. It's more about the range of multipliers generated for that round.
Okay, what's the other player choice bonus? The Crazy Time round itself.
Right. That's when the main wheel hits Crazy Time. You go into this like virtual room with a giant wheel and 3 flappers, green, blue, and yellow.
And you have to choose one flapper before the spin.
Yep. You're hoping your chosen flapper lands on segments that say D, E, or D, because that boosts all the multipliers on the wheel and gives you another spin.
So the big wins depend on hitting those doubles and triples.
Absolutely. The 3-day data confirms larger wins hinge on the number of doubles and triples you collect.
Did the data show if one flapper was, luckier than the others on average?
Interestingly, yes, over the period they analyze, the blue flapper had a significantly higher average multiplier, 104.20x.
Wow, compared to?
Yellow averaged 48.42x, and green was 33.80x.
That's a big difference for blue.
It is. And blue also hit the most doubles and triples on average in that data set, 7 doubles, 1.33 triples.
So the challenge is you still have to guess which flapper will do well this time.
Exactly. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, gambler's fallacy, and all that. But historically, in that data window, blue was the star. It's a choice based on past averages versus pure gut feeling, I suppose.
Makes sense. Okay, let's switch to the bonuses where you don't have a choice. Coin flip.
Coin flip, pretty straightforward. A coin, red side, blue side. Each side gets a random multiplier assigned just before the flip. Whichever side lands face up, that's the multiplier everyone who bet on coin flip gets.
Zero chance. What do the stats say?
Over 3 days, the frequency was pretty close to 50-50. Red came up 52.13% of the time, blue 47.87%.
And the average payouts?
Also super close. Red averaged 12.5x, blue averaged 12.77x.
So picking a favorite color doesn't really matter outcome-wise?
Nope. The stats suggest your preference might not significantly impact the outcome. It's just a coin toss.
The source mentioned coin flip is the most frequent bonus, though, right?
It is. It has more segments on the wheel than the others, except the numbers.
But it also suggested betting on segment 10 might be more profitable.
Yeah, it implied that if you're comparing average potential payouts, segment 10 might edge out coin flip based on its base value. But, coin flip hits more often, so it ultimately boils down to personal choice and what you're looking for, frequency or potentially higher average payout.
Right, aligning strategy with goals. Okay, last bonus, pachinko.
Pachinko, inspired by the Japanese game. A puck drops down a pegged wall, bouncing around, and lands in a slot at the bottom with a multiplier. There's also a chance for it to land in a double E slot, doubling all multipliers and dropping again.
That sounds fun. What about the payouts?
The 3-day average payout was 46x, but it did fluctuate daily. One day averaged 28x, the next 61x, then 49x.
So decent potential there. Around 46x average is attractive.
Yeah, the source calls them fairly attractive payouts, and its frequency is similar to cash hunt, actually.
And since everyone gets the same result, it's less volatile in a way.
Exactly. The source calls it a less volatile bonus game because the payout is uniform for all players in that round. The probability of it hitting and its general payout structure are quite consistent.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Gambler's fallacy, law of large numbers, specific game stats. So let's bring it all together. What does this mean for you, the player? How do you actually use these stats?
Right. The practical application, the main thing is clarifying what stats are and aren't. They are definitely useful for enhancing your gameplay.
But crucially,
they do not equate to guaranteed predictions of results. That's the absolute key takeaway. Think of stats as a guide, maybe a compass.
not a crystal ball.
Exactly, not a crystal ball.
So they empower choices rather than predicting outcomes.
Precisely. You use the stats to tailor your play style. Maybe knowing cash on has a history of max wins makes you prioritize betting on that if jackpots are your goal.
Or maybe you see the average payouts and think, maybe betting segment 10 is better for me than waiting for coin flip.
Or maybe you prefer the steady, shared experience of pachinko over the individual gamble and cash hunt, knowing the average payouts are pretty decent. Depends on your risk tolerance, your goals.
It's about making smarter, more informed bets that align with your strategy, not just chasing streaks.
You got it. Playing smarter with the real odds, not the ones our gut feeling invents.
And we probably briefly touch on this. The source FAQ did mention some player concerns, right, about unusual wheel behavior.
Yeah, things like sudden stops, really long spins, which has led to some suspicions about rigging. It's worth acknowledging those perceptions exist.
But our focus here, based on the data provided,
is that the empirical data, tracked over time, consistently lines up with the mathematical probabilities and the law of large numbers we've been talking about. The long-term trends are solid.
Right. So, wrapping this up, our deep dive really highlights that tension, doesn't it? Between what we feel might happen next, that gambler's fallacy, and the undeniable power of actual statistical probability, the law of large numbers, playing out reliably over the long run.
It's a fascinating contrast. And the bottom line is, you can't predict the next spin. No one can.
But understanding the stats, the historical data, that empowers you.
It lets you make informed choices. You can align your bets with what you actually want to achieve, like chasing max wins in cash hunt, if that's your thing, and play in a way that suits your strategy.
Instead of just chasing those phantom patterns that our brains love to see.
Exactly.
So, maybe a final thought to leave you with. Even when we can't perfectly predict randomness, exploring the statistics like this does more than just show us reality. It gives us insight into ourselves, right?
Yeah, into our own biases, our own search for order in a chaotic world.
This kind of knowledge isn't really about guaranteeing a win. It's about truly understanding the game you're playing and maybe understanding yourself a little better too.
Well said. It's about playing informed.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep digging deeper.